Have you ever been in that moment when things are heating up and you want to drive her wild, but you just don't know exactly how to read her body, respond to her energy, or hit all the right spots? I'm talking about those moments where you want her to melt in your hands, where every little motion you make can either take her over the edge or leave her wanting more. The truth is, there's a subtle art to this, an art that isn't about rushing or following some rigid checklist, but about being present, playful, and in tune with her. It's about knowing her body like a map and reading the signs she's sending you. Tonight, I'm going to break down 5 expert moves that will make her knees weak, 5 ways to make her feel so good she can't stop smiling, moaning, and wanting more. I'll show you how small shifts in technique, timing, and attention can turn an ordinary moment into something unforgettable. And here's the thing, these aren't just random tricks, they're about understanding connection, rhythm, and giving her pleasure in ways that feel natural, intimate, and deeply sexy. By the end of this video, you'll walk away knowing exactly how to read her body, respond in the moment, and leave her craving you in ways you didn't think were possible. So grab her attention, focus on her energy, and let's dive into the 5 moves that make her absolutely crazy in all the right ways. Here's the thing most men completely miss. The first few moments are everything. If you dive in too fast, you're skipping the part that actually makes her feel crazy about you. The secret isn't some flashy move, it's how you start slow, observe, and tease. Picture this. She's already intrigued by you, but she's watching your energy, your touch, your confidence. You want her to lean in, to crave what's coming, and the only way to do that is by playing with anticipation. Start light. Trace your fingers along areas that hint at more without fully giving in. A playful brush here, a soft touch there, a whisper close to her ear. These are tiny sparks that ignite curiosity and desire. And don't underestimate the power of attention. Watch her breathing, her subtle shivers, how her body shifts in response to you. This is the language she's speaking, and if you can read it, you can control the pace in a way that feels thrilling but effortless. Here's a pro tip that separates average from unforgettable. Focus on her reactions, not your moves. Men often think the louder, faster, or more aggressive they are, the better. But real connection is in restraint and timing. Slow, intentional touches create tension. Small teasing motions that let her imagine what's next will have her mind racing before you even get to the main event. The warm-up is where you build trust, intimacy, and excitement simultaneously. Master this, and she's hanging on every subtle move you make, fully invested in the moment, and craving more before you even deliver it. Think of it like writing a story. The first chapter sets the tone, builds suspense, and makes her want to turn every page. Nail the warm-up, and the rest becomes effortless, electric, and unforgettable. Here's where most men completely underestimate the game. Connection is everything. You can know all the moves in the world, but if your energy is off, if you're not present, it won't land. Imagine this. You're leaning in, just a whisper away from her ear, and instead of looking at the floor or your hands, you lock eyes with her. That moment of direct attention? It sparks something deeper than touch alone. Her body responds before she even realizes it. This is about matching her energy, noticing how she breathes, how she shifts, and using that as your guide. Let's say she leans into your hand ever so slightly. Pause. Let her feel that touch. Then continue with a playful shift. Or maybe she bites her lip when you whisper something subtle and teasing. That's your cue to keep building anticipation. The trick is synchronization. Her movements and reactions become your roadmap. Think of it like dancing. You follow her cues, respond to them, and gradually guide her into waves of pleasure she didn't even know were coming. It's not mechanical. It's playful, intuitive, and teasing. For example, a little playful question like, "Do you like that?" paired with the right touch, lets her voice her excitement and gives you the chance to escalate naturally. You're creating a loop of feedback, attention, and desire, and that loop is incredibly addictive. When you combine eye contact, energy reading, and subtle verbal cues, you're no longer just performing actions. You're creating an experience she feels in her mind and body simultaneously. Every movement becomes meaningful, every pause intentional, and every touch unforgettable. Master this, and you'll notice something incredible. She's leaning into you, not just physically, but mentally, craving the connection before the next move even happens. It's intimate, electrifying, and utterly captivating. And it all starts with paying attention to the small, sensual signals she gives you. Here's the secret most men never realize. Rhythm can make or break the experience. Think about it. Repetition is safe, predictable, boring. If you want her mind and body completely hooked, you need to play with tempo, surprise her senses, and keep her guessing. Imagine this. You're in sync, moving with her energy, and suddenly you pause, just for a beat. That hesitation? It creates tension. She leans in, wondering what's next, and that curiosity makes her more responsive and craving your touch. Now speed it up, then slow it down, then change angles subtly. Each shift keeps her attention fully on you, building anticipation without you having to say a word. Here's a practical example. Notice how her breathing changes when you vary pressure or timing. If she gasps, lingers, or bites her lip, it's a signal to explore that rhythm more. If she tenses, pull back slightly, tease her again, and watch her reactions. It's a playful game of push and pull, rhythm and variation, and it's utterly irresistible when done right. Men who understand this are not just performing, they're creating an experience, a ride that keeps her hanging on every subtle motion. And here's a tip I want you to try tonight. Pay attention to the micro reactions, like her fingers curling or her thighs shifting. Those are your cues for when to change speed, pressure, or intensity. Master rhythm and variation, and you'll see how every moment becomes unpredictable, exciting, and memorable. Now I want you to do something for me. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Have you noticed how subtle rhythm changes affect her reactions? Or share what works best for you. I'll be reading and responding, because learning these small cues is how you go from average to unforgettable. Here's something almost every guy misses. It's not about doing more, it's about noticing more. The magic happens in the small, subtle details, and that's what separates an average experience from one she can't stop thinking about. Think about it. She reacts to the tiniest shift in pressure, the slightest circle of your fingers, or the way your lips barely graze her skin. These micro moments, they speak louder than any big move because they show attention, care, and presence. And the best part? She feels seen, wanted, and fully immersed in the moment. Here's an example. Let's say you notice she responds to a light, teasing touch along her collarbone or behind the ear. Lean into that. Play with it, shift your pressure, or pair it with a whisper in her ear. That small adjustment can completely change her energy and anticipation. Or notice subtle reactions like her breathing picking up when your hands explore in a certain rhythm. Those cues are golden signals telling you exactly what she wants. Here's my tip, and this is key. Always prioritize her reactions over your moves. Stop thinking about what looks impressive and start reading her body language like a map. Trust me, it works every time. When you focus on details, you're no longer just performing, you're creating a personalized experience tailored to her pleasure. My opinion, men who master this skill automatically stand out because they're in tune, playful, and responsive. Now, I want you to try something. Next time you're with her, pick one small detail to focus on, maybe a touch, a tease, or a whisper, and notice how she responds. Drop a comment below, sharing which tiny detail she reacted to the most. You'll be amazed at how powerful the little things can be. Here's the final piece that ties everything together. Confidence can make her crave you like nothing else, but only if it's done the right way. I'm not talking about arrogance, chest thumping, or forcing anything. I'm talking about calm, assured presence, the kind of energy that says, I know what I'm doing and I'm fully focused on you. Imagine this. You're leaning in, attentive to every reaction, yet completely relaxed. That balance between control and sensitivity is intoxicating. She can feel it, even before your hands move, and it instantly heightens every sensation. Confidence without pressure also means trusting yourself and trusting her responses. You don't need to rush, overthink, or push for results. Instead, you guide, respond, and let the rhythm flow naturally. A simple example, if she leans back or pauses, instead of panicking, you match her energy, give her space, then tease her again. That small act of calm assurance makes her feel safe, understood, and completely present with you. It's playful, it's magnetic, and it creates a tension that keeps her hooked. Here's a tip I love to share. Focus on your energy more than your technique. Your presence, patience, and attentiveness will amplify every move you've already mastered. When she senses that, she relaxes, lets go, and responds in ways you didn't think were possible. My opinion? Men who combine technique with confident energy become unforgettable because they aren't just performing. They're creating an experience that engages her mind, body, and anticipation all at once. Remember, confidence is seductive, patience is powerful, and presence is irresistible. So here's your challenge. Next time, focus on how you carry yourself, how you read her energy, and how you respond calmly. You'll notice the difference immediately, and she'll respond in ways that leave a lasting impression. All right, let's tie everything together. We've covered 5 essential ways to drive her wild, build connection, and make every moment unforgettable. First, we talked about the warm-up, the subtle, teasing touches that set the tone, build anticipation, and make her crave more before you even deliver the main moves. Then we moved to eyes, energy, and connection, showing you how locking in, matching her rhythm, and responding to her subtle cues makes every touch feel electric. After that, we explored rhythm and variation, where changing tempo, pressure, and intensity keeps her on edge and fully engaged. Point 4 focused on details, the tiny micro moments that make her feel seen, understood, and completely immersed. And finally, we discussed confidence without pressure, the calm, assured energy that ties everything together and makes your presence irresistible. Here's the key takeaway. This isn't about rushing, forcing, or trying to impress. It's about attention, presence, and responsiveness. Every movement, every pause, and every small touch is a chance to create connection, anticipation, and pleasure. The men who master these 5 points don't just perform, they create an experience that she remembers long after the night ends. Now, I want you to do something. Try focusing on one point at a time. Practice reading her reactions and see how she responds. And drop a comment below. Tell me which point you think will change your game the most, or share a small tip that worked for you. I read every comment, and these insights help you and others improve in real life. Remember, the difference between ordinary and unforgettable isn't a single move. It's how you connect, tease, vary, notice details, and show confident energy. Master that, and you won't just drive her crazy, you'll create moments she never forgets. Start practicing, stay present, and watch the magic happen.